And that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to slow it down. 27 minutes moving up to the hour of 9 o'clock. It's now time for our discussion on the road. And in the studio with me, I'm going to let Inspector do the introduction this morning, because I know both of the gentlemen here, but one in particular, not too sure of his title this morning. So we'll make sure we get that right, and then we'll move from there. So let's start the ball correctly this morning, so at least everyone know who we have in the studio, why they're here, and the legitimacy behind their words, you know, so you can't question anything. So I'm going to start with you, Inspector, and then we're going to work our way down.
Okay, definitely. Here in the studio, I have both bus drivers and PROs. One for the St. Peter's area. That is Mr. Granny. Granny is now...
Oh, you're dropping Tyrone this morning? No Tyrone this morning?
Well, boy,
they can't handle it.
It seems as though, you know, they prefer Granny. Yeah, but better, I think he wants to be better known as Mr. Tyrone, which is a given name,
right,
but he's parents.
Right.
You understand me? We have Mr. Webster with us from the west side bus. Actually, I see West Line. Yeah, and he's the president for the West Line.
The president or the PRO?
He's the president. Yes, okay. He carries some weight with him. Yeah, definitely, you know, sometimes people come to you and tell you, man, the horse this and the horse that, you know what I mean? But it's best to have the horse actually brain for himself.
Right.
You see, so that is the reason, you know, we don't want any hearsay. We just want it from, you know what I mean, straight from the horse's mouth, directly from the horse's mouth. And we have them here today, you know what I mean, to actually convey to the general public, to let the general public know, you know what I mean, the queries, you know, what is actually happening,
right,
and what is not happening.
Right.
Also, I want to hear from them about the bus, in terms of people wearing masks or not wearing masks, and how they actually remedy and can remedy such defect.
Right.
You see, you know, now we say sooner or later we may have to issue tickets and these kind of stuff. I'm sure you heard that. I don't know if you heard that.
Yeah. I was waiting for you to confirm.
Well, definitely, well, it is not on the books as yet. So, you know what I mean, I have to read something.
Okay.
You know what I mean, I don't like to just hear. I have to read for myself.
Right.
But I'm glad to, and I'm welcoming Mr. Webster and Mr. Tyrone. I left them to actually introduce themselves, you know what I mean, to the general public. So, without further ado, we start with Mr. Tyrone.
Okay.
Yes, good morning to the general public. Well, everybody know me as, well, Granny. Yeah, nice to be here.
Hopefully next week.
Had to do some surveying from last week, you know, because we were talking about the bus stop and so, yeah. Hopefully we're going to get into that a little, you know, later in the morning.
Well, good morning to the general public. I am Nicholson Webster, president of the West Line Bus Association. So I just want to thank Inspector Eddie for his invitation, and I also want to thank him for the good work that he's doing so far at the traffic department. He's an action man, I can tell you. I jump on my phone and I call him and he show up in 5 minutes. I wonder, he's a lightning man.
Okay.
So, I never see that happen in the history of traffic before.
Okay.
So I think great recommendation is due to him.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get our conversation rolling.
Just before we comment into see, yeah, I have some announcement from the Surrey Paving, yeah, the Surrey Paving and Aggregates. There are some works ongoing that is in the rural area, cutting trees and grubbing, that is in Brimstone Hill to New Guinea, asphalting Echo Park to Sandy Point, asphalting Brimstone Hill to New Guinea, construct catch pit and head wall, Brimstone Hill to New Guinea, Echo Park bridge extension, curb and slipper and footpath that is in the Echo Park, excavation and place water that is in St. Paul's village. So definitely, you know, in the St. Paul's area, I noticed that a number of complaints coming out there, no water. So definitely, you know, and this is because based on the fact that they have some works going on. Yeah, I think public works and the Surrey Paving and so forth. So I just want to, convey to the general public in those areas to be extremely careful driving. Anyways, I don't want to tie up anything. I want to go straight into the program. Yeah, I mean, so the guys could actually, convey to the general public.
Right. So, Grant, you're going to lead off the discussion this morning?
Yeah, well, let me take forth. There was last week, we had some incident with on the bus stop, and people saying that, I mean, they think that the government should look into, to putting back the bus stop. But I want to educate the people them and let them know, GQ, there are times that we can't please the public. After the last program here, I went home, I studied. I said, no, something just ain't right. And I looked back and I studied and said, when the bus stop was moved from Rams to Boy Ready Fry, people complain and say move the bus stop from Croatia. They say it's too far. One of the main issues that they was talking about was when I'm sure you find that you have a lot of buses coming from the west side. After the space there is full, and more or less I think the space will carry about 3 buses.
Right.
You had buses had to stop on the outside. Now the general public was making noise saying that when they're walking across the crossing, should they have to pass 2 buses, they can't see the upcoming traffic that is coming from the east to the west.
Right.
Right. We look into moving the crossing and all, putting it over on the other side.
Right.
Now this is why I'm telling you now that we can't please the general public, because they make noise and say move the bus stop. Right? But true, we as busmen don't like follow the rules and the regulation. I don't say we because that is my job.
Right.
I ain't saying that I'm perfect and every day I go out and I do everything right.
Right.
Right? So we as busmen, they look into it. Mind, they leave it, they move it, they put it back, and they move it again.
Right.
Right? So, if the bus stop is moved for a purpose this time, it was well studied, right, that it have to move, so it is now moved.
Okay. All right. So you're in agreement with it?
Of course.
Okay. Mr. Webb, so what about you? What's on your agenda this morning?
I've been getting some feedback as well concerning the bus stops. And it have some effect on the West Line bus terminal. Because what will happen now is that because the East Line is no longer able to stay there, they're coming down at the West Line. And the West Line right now is really congested. So there is further congestion right there.
Okay.
So if we could probably get something in place where we can have them come to drop off in a designated area, it would help, because sometimes they just come down there and just stop as soon as they get in, and it creates a real problem, not only for the buses but for other vehicles that are trying to get in. So that's a real issue.
Okay. So something to put on the table to look at.
Yes.
No, because the main problem is because the bus terminal is not finished.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say because the bus terminal is not finished. Anything you do, once you have proper management,
that is true,
it can work. So what I'm saying is that sometimes you have guys come down there, bus come down there, and they just stop anyway. But if we have something proper in place, where you can point them to, look, this is where you go, don't stop here, then the operation will run smooth. But right now, as it is, it's a real chaos.
Right.
But what I would like to recommend, though, and I think I've mentioned it before, is that we need to stop the public from just driving in there. It's not, we don't have enough room for buses alone, never mind the public. So we need the public to stop driving in there, and you're only allowed in there if you go to drop off or pick up someone.
Okay.
Basically, what Mr. Webster is saying is that in the interim of the completion, of the infrastructure that is actually going on presently at the terminal, things should be put in place. It could be actually enforced, in terms of, restricting certain, vehicles and so forth, so that you could get a proper order, with the buses. It's a terminal. If you have to look for the definition of terminal, it's like it's an end and a start. You understand me?
Right.
So definitely, I have gone down there yesterday. Yesterday I went, I spoke with the president, which is Mr. Webster here. And he alluded certain things, I mean, and stated certain things to me, so which I have actually looked into and recommended. So
this morning, are you seeking public input on this issue, or you're just here to aware them, make them aware of what's
basically
going to
just
happen?
sensitize, you know what I mean? We're just sensitizing the, you know what I mean, the general public, you know what I mean? That is what we're here for, you know. We have to let the public know certain things the public has to know. Yeah, based on the fact that, you know, they are catching buses, you know, you got people catching buses, they got to know exactly what is going on, you know, and that is the reason why we are here today, you know. But I have seen a drawing, a sketch,
Yes,
a
I have a drawing, yes.
here from Mr. Webster, you know, I mean, it makes some sense to me. And once that is put in place, because this will be put things in a proper perspective, proper order in terms of procedure, you know what I mean, runnings on a day-to-day basis in terms of, you know, like you have one lane, you know, so who is in front, the doors are open, you understand me? So who to the back? So you might get two buses and the doors open, you know, and people have to actually catch that bus before next bus could actually move.
Right.
So the buses that are behind, you understand me? They have to have their door closed. You understand me?
I know you're one to hear from the public. Are you ready to do so now?
Definitely, definitely.
Hi, good morning, you're live.
Good morning. This is Dumpling speaking. Good morning to GQ and Mr. Eddie and Granny. I was down to the terminal Friday, and the down here was like a jam up. The bus then come all down there to go on the pier. And when you look, some of them bus will come with passengers instead of they go out to come in. They come in when you're going out. And I start to talk about it, and the man couldn't avoid me on. I called traffic, they said they're going to send somebody. When you look the lady who was there in the crossing yard or wherever, she come down, I explained to her. She said, oh, the police send them who come down. I said, but nonsense you're talking me. So people who come in now to go on, to carry on the cab and she also, they can't get in the port. You understand me, Mr. Eddie?
Yeah, definitely.
So I have to do something with that. For example, with a real jammer, they start using me after me, the police, and say, you take the police in the plain clothes. As the ASP, handling that for me. You understand? And me and them have it out. They just do too much wrong thing. Too much. People come to pick up people come pick up people after they bought the car and pick out the body lower the bus all down in front. So they don't know that this long bus come down and then when you look the choice is in, the two choice up. I have to do something, I ain't put the number now, I did the traffic, and some woman named Henry said she gonna send somebody now, and up to now I did not see nobody. When I leave from down the minutes to 6 minutes, nobody and down there was a real jam up. See you, good morning, this is Dumpling, and they call me everybody, no, especially with the granny. Can you say you want me daughter? Granny, see you.
Well, definitely, you're right.
You're doing, okay. All right. Hi, good morning, you're live.
Hey, morning.
Yes, morning.
It appears to me as if Mr. Webster plan is like to say, well, you're compelling people to drive in the vehicle they don't want it, because if two buses in front and unless they ain't filled, the bus that I want to go in at the tower or the foot can't move. Another thing he mentioned about the public, stopping the public from driving inside the area there. You can't do that. There's not designated for us no bus stop. The bus stop is in process. Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, God.
Let's take another call. Hi, good morning.
Good morning, GQ.
Yes, morning.
And good morning to Inspector Eddie there.
Morning, sir.
And good morning to my good friend Tyrone, a.k.a. Granny. And good morning to Mr. Webster, I think it's a.k.a. Rambo. Rambo, right?
Yes, yes,
Hello?
yes.
Yes, Rambo, yes. Now, Mr. Webster, I also agree with you. We down there in the bus terminal with this tying up. I believe that since that the bus terminal there working on so long, I believe that they should let the private vehicle enter the place somewhere. Because some you just going in there dropping off a little package and they got to drive through. If you got load to go up on the boat, you could drive through. But some people just deliberately drive through there. And I believe the police them and the traffic warden them supposed to look into consideration and try to let the busman them make the money. Are supposed to make higher money. You understand? It don't supposed to turn up. Since that the terminal ain't up yet. Officially, it ain't up yet. They're still working on it. Man, do something to please you. You understand? It's work you are working. They're doing their thing too. But I believe that private vehicle, you know, just go to there. All the time, just go to there. And the next thing again, Mr. Webster. How, I just see you all in your mask. I got on your mask. Most of you bus drivers, some of you. You all must encourage the passengers them to put on the mask too. Because I drive in bus almost every day. And when you look, about the bus full, and about 3 or 4, maybe 1 got on mask. You know, I will see the situation over there, man. We don't know who come in this country illegally and jump on the bus going to country or something, and they got this deadly corona. You understand? So just make sure that our passengers them put on the mask. And I want to make $1, you know, but just make sure they jump in the bus, make sure they got a mask, and they put on the mask. All right then.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, thank you for your call. Let's take another one. And then, was that or third caller? I'm going to let you address some of those before we go too far.
Definitely.
All right, good morning.
Hey, GQ.
Yes, good morning.
Hey, what's up?
Let's take this next call. Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi.
I'm calling from the eastern side. I want to know how come the East bus president can't be David Granny and them. And the other thing is, I'm a woman, right, who could barely walk with load. And to move the bus stop from there, you know it has hurt me to go all the way up by the sun to go catch bus. I really want to hear the East Line bus president there, because something ain't sounding right. And the other thing is that I'm still pleading for the pedestrian crossing in Keon. I don't want my grandchildren then to get that bump, so I'm pleading for the pedestrian crossing across the alley, please. Brian Alley in Keon, the best alley. I would like to get our pedestrian crossing back. Have a blessed day, all.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
All right, I'll let you address those calls before we go too far.
Well,
Inspector.
I will address from number 4, number 5 caller. Pedestrians crossing in Brian Alley. Definitely disseminated such information. You know, make recommendation for that said pedestrian crossing to be repainted. In Keon. So definitely what I have to know is to follow up on that today. And also, you know, a number of requests that people actually make every day, you know, more than 50 a day. You know what I mean? Yeah, you have to try to address all of them. I mean, definitely I will try to address everything. I'll start off with this one today because I think that caller called him before. Yeah, people coming in the country legally, I like to hear the part. That caller, I think number 4 caller. Because we do not know. We do not know what may, you know what I mean, what actually taking. We don't know. Right. You know what I mean? That is the reason why, you know, we have to mask up. We can't just say, man, we're free in this country, and you know what I mean, there is no this, there is no COVID, that, there, you know what I mean? Right. And we good. We ain't know who actually sneak through the cracks. You know what I mean? We do not know about that. So definitely that only give us more confidence in terms of we masking up. Now, so I'm going to talk about the terminal and how it should be laid out in terms of dropping off and private vehicles actually coming in. Well, from the procedure, from drawings received, I have seen drop-off areas. So any private vehicle actually passing through, maybe they might want to pick up somebody from the PA coming in, they have a drop-off area, you know what I mean, and they have to go. So traffic has to flow. No matter what you do, traffic has to flow. So there are a number of things in the making. I think Rambo, let me just address that a bit.
I would like to address that.
Yes.
So I would like to start off, especially with the first caller, for instance, who spoke about bus of their choice. GQ, we can't continue with the old system. We have to create an environment that is equitable for everybody. We are not saying go in any bus. We are saying if you want to wait on your bus, you have to wait until your bus reach in the area that is designated for the bus to pick up people. So we're not saying that you must go on any bus, but we have to create a system that is fair for everyone. You understand? So if you want to sit and wait until your bus come up in the area, you sit and wait. But we want to make sure everybody is able to make a dollar. Concerning the part where they talk about the dropping off area, we are saying sometimes it's a bus terminal, so actually the caller is wrong. It is not a public road, it's a bus and ferry terminal. Right? So with that said, when you come there to pick up people, you're allowed, but you just can't just come and just drive in and just drive in, you look news and tie up the system. No, we are saying if you go to drop off someone at the, whether it's bus or ferry, you go to drop off. If you go to pick up, you go to pick up. So
this habit needs to be done away with.
Yes, this habit where you just drive in because you're looking news or happy-go-lucky. It can't continue. It's a small area. It's not even as big as the East. So we have to make it in a way that it can be comfortable for the purpose that it serves.
Okay.
So what he's saying basically, I heard the caller actually call it, but into
so you're disagreeing with
No.
Oh, okay.
What I'm saying, I'm disagreeing with the caller who actually.
Oh, okay. So you're supporting Mr. Webster.
But his opinion. But when you look at the drive, what you look at the procedure, you know what I mean, and the control of the traffic through the terminal, you know what I mean, definitely, it will, as Mr. Webster said, it will be equitable, it will be fair, it will be just. You don't want a prejudicial stuff happening at the terminal. So if you're in front, GQ.
Oh, we get you loud and clear.
You're in front, I'm second, Webster is third, and Granny is fourth. Definitely you got to get your chip.
Yes.
We get you.
Not only
you must get your chip.
Not only that, just to strengthen what the inspector is saying is that we have a drop-off area. We have a taxi area. Now the taxi area right now as it is just 2 spaces. We are proposing that it's 4 spaces for taxi. We are proposing that a whole drop-off area, so there will be no issue. We are also proposing that we have a parking area for the bar owners. And that's not instead of people just going on there filling up all the slots, Gone Nevis and these kind of things.
Right, more control.
You understand? We had a guy there in the area right now presently that is designated for us, for the bus to operate. We had a guy park up there, his vehicle Gone Nevis. He ain't come back down till about, he even get complained that the police did that too. In his own vehicle, just come and park up. No, we can't support these things.
I hear you. Before you guys continue, before we take any more calls, someone addressed you, Granny, on an issue. Remember that one, or you forgot the issue?
Well, with the East Line, President. What happens, I mean, that is a good suggestion, because at least they said like something, as the lady said, something come like in right. But yes, one of these times we should have the East Line President up here. But I just want the caller there to note, right? What happened on the East Line within the bus terminal affects the buses them that stay up there in the bus terminal itself. Right, so if a bus stop is moved because of a reason.
Right.
Because the buses them up there in the East Terminal was complaining.
Right.
Right. So, show the president, everybody, they complain about it. that there are certain buses just doing one thing.
Got you.
Correct.
And I want
Control, like you said.
yes, and I want you guys to understand, if it took the PS to go down there, stand up down there, and watch buses actually wait there. No, he had.
Let me just say something on that before you move on to back up what Granny is saying.
Okay.
The East Line asks for the bus stop to be removed, but it's out there right now in the public, making it seem as if the government or the police just went and do it. That is not correct. That is not correct. The East Line asks the government to remove the terminal. This didn't even have anything to do with West Line, and West Line is being affected.
Wow.
It didn't have anything to do with us. They asked for it to be removed.
The only problem I had about that, it was moved like nobody was informed.
Right.
That's the only problem that we had.
Hold on, gentlemen. Hold on, gentlemen. I'm gonna let you guys finish your point. We're gonna take this call. We're gonna take a break, and we're gonna come back. I'm gonna give you guys your time.
Move
right?
ahead, move ahead.
Good morning, you're live.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you all doing?
Yeah, good morning, sir.
I'm here listening to the show, and I must say I'm very impressed with the suggestion and the ideas that Mr. Webster in particular is putting over in relation to the system, because it's only fear that down there is small, and a person is going to be going to Nevis for 2 and 3 days. It shouldn't be that they'll be able to park up the vehicle and leave it there for those days, and then the busmen are scrabbling to get a space. The reality is that everybody have to work with each other. The way how I see the system, it can work, and even with the bus, where whoever bus you come, you're allowed to pick up your passengers, and the bus behind, they have to wait their turn, and to me that will work better for everyone. But one of the problems I find with us, especially when we are inconvenienced, everybody wants the system to remain the same. The bus terminal is going on, and there's some big inconvenience, but at the end of the day, I think it's going to work out for everybody, just like the road. When they're doing the road, sometimes there are some big holes, but at the end of the day, everybody is benefiting when it's the project is finished. So, person just have to be patient, work with each other, the east, the west, and things will work out much better in relation to the traffic. Gentlemen, have a good day.
Thanks for your call.
Thanks for your call, man. Thanks for your call.
Gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break. We have our 9 o'clock report up next, Conference Grange, and then we'll be back. For those of you who are trying to get in, I see the lines ringing right now. We'll entertain your calls afterwards.
You're simply the best. Better than all the rest.
Are you looking for a place that provides skilled nursing care and rehabilitation services to people with special needs, illnesses, injuries, or functional disabilities? Are you searching for dignified facilities to serve the elderly? Then search no more. The Grange Healthcare Facility is simply the best place to satisfy your needs. It is the first of its kind in St. Kitts, situated just 7 miles out of Bastia, with beautifully landscaped grounds in serene and tranquil surroundings. The Grange offers residential care places, daycare facilities for seniors, convalescent care, rehabilitation services, overnight, weekend and holiday stay, and complementary therapies. A caring and experienced staff has promised to take good care of you or your loved ones. For more information and bookings, call 465-8020 or 466-5525 or fax your requests to 466-8221.
You're simply the best.
With your 9 a.m. news update for this morning, I am your presenter, Shanique Harvey. Nationally, Officials from the Ministry of International Trade, Industry, Commerce and Consumer Affairs will be featured on Working for You on Wednesday, July 22nd, 2020. The special guests will be Director of the St. Kitts and Nevis Bureau of Standards, Stuart Laplace, Director of the Department of Industry, Commerce and Small Business Development, Mr. Philip Brown, Director of Trade, Mr. Sean Lawrence, and Director of Consumer Affairs, Mr. Paul Quealy. The panelists will discuss the roles and objectives of their respective departments in carrying out the mandate of the government. This will include policy, programs and plans designed